Hello, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. We are going to start. Let's give it one more minute. Welcome. I am Lumi Hilchi with Marco Oelschlegel from Berlin, Visit Berlin. And I guess we can start. This meeting is being recorded, this session. So thank you for joining us. Welcome to Education Weeks. This is part of our summer campaign, Germany at the Heart of Future Events. The campaign was organized by the German Convention Bureau and all our partners in order to provide access and help us in the industry reconnect with each other. And this is what this session is one of, I want to say 16 or so. The heart of our campaign is the virtual marketplace, which is where we have approximately 70 German suppliers that are online, and you can schedule appointments with them throughout the summer. If you're here in the venue today, feel free to check out the space. It is a summer campaign exhibition, the button that says those words. And today's session, Marco here will share how we can plan events without risking cancellation, postponement, and shifting to hybrid solutions. And how can we regain the trust of event organizers and events? And I know, Marco, that you also have some interesting stories to share about test events that have been going on in Berlin. And so without further ado, take over. Thank you. And we will be able to share questions if you'd like in the chat room throughout the session. Feel free to send your questions and then we will answer them at the end.
Mm-hmm. So thank you very much, Lumi, and thank you for being with us here and interested in listening to this topic. When I was asked by the German Convention Bureau to talk about this topic, it referred to the test events, which we've already organized. I thought about what is crucial in these times, or any time, I think, in the event industry, when organizing events and when planning events above all. And I think it is all about trust and confidence, and confidence into the future, and to be as sure as much possible to know what's going on within the next month when you plan something. And therefore, this is why I've chosen this topic, restoring, or this theme, restoring confidence. I think it's really crucial and important. And even now, in this time where the future is so unclear and so many question marks everywhere when planning and thinking about having an event. Because if you look back to 2019, I think you remember these good old times when we all sit together and we organize events any times. The industry grew, it didn't stop, and there was no limits in a way. And everybody just had the opportunity, or just the, it's not the only one, but one problem was rather there's no availability, everything is booked out and so on, but not can I be sure to have the event in 3 months' time, in 4 months' time, in 5 months' time? Because it was clear, yes, you can have this meeting. Although by the time already there has been threats by terrorism, by catastrophes, any other time, security issues whatsoever. But it was a little bit beyond our conscious, I think, and it was out of this, it was just clear, and there was a high sense of security, and I think that you were able to organize events. And I think this is one of the crucial things which has changed over the last months and the last year, because now we have the travel restrictions by states. You don't even know if your clients can come in from specific countries to, e.g. Germany. You have the hygiene regulations because of this virus. Many things are not allowed as we knew things were a couple of months and years ago. And of course, there are also corporate travel bans that corporates decided not to go and not to send their people to a conference or to a trade show. And this was also many times one of the reasons why a trade show doesn't take place again. So there has been, and it's still a lot of insecurity, and I think, and yeah, a lot of people are concerned, and I assume many of you had also these thoughts and were concerned about what this pandemic means for us, for our business, for our personal lives, and so on. And so this expectation in 3 months' time you can organize an event is not, or had not been clear, or wasn't as clear as it had been a couple of months and years ago. And to start with, and to be a little bit more interactive, I just wanted to ask you before we maybe I can go back to this other slide. I would like to ask you some questions, and I'm really curious about what you think here. For example, on this first questions, and the question is: would you currently consider easily, without long thinking, to attend an event in another city? Yes, no, or are you not sure? Can we close it already, or how much time should we have it open, Linda?
We can close it.
Okay, close it. So it's interesting. So only one, oh, it's half, and many people are not really sure. And then I think this really shows how insecure the situation at the moment is. Yes, no, not sure. In another city, I think it heavily depends also on the city and the country and the specific location. So we have to think quite a lot. So maybe let's move to the second one. And this is the following questions. Do you think after the pandemic, whenever this is, will people get back to the custom to shake hands when meeting? Do you think yes or no, or aren't you sure? I think we've adapted to many things and new customs or ways of doing things over the last months. And personally, I'm really interested to know what will remain or not. So, you think yes. Will people go back to shake hands after the pandemic? So the majority, I assume, thinks that, yeah, it will come back. Most of the things will come back. So that's interesting. And this is positive news and good news, and above all. Do we have the third one as well here at this space? Because this is a more open question, and it is about trust and confidence. And I think the question is...
We put it in the chat room.
Oh, in the chat room. Sorry. And it is about what you think confidence, or what does need to... Sorry.
Go ahead, sorry.
To back. So have a look at the chat room, or chat box, I think. Chat box, right? And it's already there, Lumi.
Yeah, what is the crucial, in your opinion, what is the crucial element to regain trust for a participation at a meeting? This is another heavy question with a lot of thinking needed.
I think there are many facets and aspects, because trust is such a broad feeling, and it's composed by so many things. So I can click it here, and then I can see it.
One of our answers is
vaccinations. Yeah. So I think it is, of course, the objective reasons moving away in a way that the danger is not as big as it used to be. And I think something, and this is of course something the states can do, they can provide these vaccines, and they can prepare everything as much as possible. They can have frameworks, legal frameworks, and so on made in process in order to make events as sure and as safe as possible. And I think what we as an industry can do is to show that we care and to show that we think about everything as much as possible, as much as we can do. And this is what we, in a way, had also in our minds when we had to confront this situation over the last months. We stood together in Berlin, for example, with our industry partners and teamed up and organized or developed a hygiene framework based on the legal framework from our city and from our country, and translated into the needs to what meeting planners needed for their events. And you can download it on our webpage. It gives you, or it's like guidelines for you, where which allows you to follow everything and have an event which is as safe as possible. This is, I think, something which gives back trust to clients and attendees when they say, okay, you have prepared everything as much as possible in one way. And of course, you have to talk a lot to your clients and your partners. And this is why we have launched this marketing campaign, Plan B, Plan Berlin, which means that we have a plan in Berlin. We care. We have thought about everything which is possible to us. And this is what we distribute and communicate and shout out on social media and all our channels, in order that we gain trust again, and people think, okay, the people in Berlin, they think about the things, they've prepared, they have a plan, they're structured. And I think this is also something very important. And the third thing is to learn yourself and to experience yourself. And I think what we've learned from science is the things you learn and experience yourself are the things you learn the best and incorporate the most. And therefore we thought, why not showing that a B2B event can be safe even under these circumstances and conditions. And therefore in February, when officially only events for up to 20 people were allowed in Berlin, business to business meetings were allowed in Berlin, we had a lot of talks with our local government, and finally at the end it was possible, together with also our colleagues from cultural institutions, because they were also keen to show that theaters, concerts, and similar events can be safe under these conditions. We together joined forces and we talked with our local governments and said, okay, look, we are prepared. We would like to show that it's possible, and finally decided to have a clause in the legal framework that pilot events are possible, even even in times when only 20 or the maximum number of B2B events was 20. And so we got this opportunity to have events up to 100 people, 100 attendees. And therefore on the 25th of March, we organized this event at the Oelschlegel in Berlin. Oelschlegel also a GCB member. And we were quite happy. We invited partners, and yes, took place in the Oelschlegel for 3 hours, and 100 participants followed this our invitation, and we were very happy about this. Overall, I said this pilot event was part of Perspective Culture or Perspective Mais Berlin, composed of us, Visit Berlin's event, plus 8 other several events from cultural institutions, theaters, concert houses, and so on. We all followed hygiene measurements. There was only drinks possible, water and other drinks, no food available, fixed seating, no microphones, Q&As with Slido, and of course, everybody had to undergo a corona quick test on-site or in decentralized test centers. And how it looked like, I would like to show you with a short film on the next page, so you get a quick introduction how it works. No? Sorry.
This is Linda speaking from the back end. Do you want me to share it just on the web?
Yes, maybe,
All
yeah,
right.
this little film. Now it works, yeah, cool. Do I click?
Yes.
Thank you. So distance, social distancing and all those things. Yeah, this was a little bit introduction to the event. And I can click again. Or is it you, Linda, who can forward it?
No, you can click yourself, I believe.
I'm clicking, but maybe I have to go here. Here, yes. I think most of you have already now, or since then, attended events like this, where you had these hygiene measurements and so on. What we've learned, and I think I'm sure you wanted to know what we learned about this. We tested pilot events always test structures or procedures or whatsoever or scientific researches, and what we would like to show and to learn from was how procedures could be optimized when organizing events in these areas and under these conditions. But most and foremost, I really remember those smiles, which you saw even under the mask. Of course, everybody had to wear masks all the time, but still people were so happy after several months of being at home and not going out, not seeing any people or many people, coming to an event where 100 people were there, colleagues, many of them knew each other, haven't seen them for months and weeks. And this smile, this happiness to meet somebody in person, that was really one of the most positive feedbacks which we've got. Overall, they were all happy, they felt safe and secure. Press was there, attendees, industry colleagues. This was, I think, which worked definitely. People would like to meet in person. This is the learning we've got, and which we knew before, had known before, but also it was confirmed here. And what we've done also, we offered it on a hybrid basis, so 100 people could attend at the Estral, but others were present as well online via the internet, and to lower this barrier and to not to make the difference between them too big. For example, we didn't have microphones. We just had the Q&A sessions via Slido. So any question which was shown and which was sent either from the hall or from online came into Slido to us. And this was also something new. What we experienced was a good way of communication. And also another learning was testing. Where would people prefer to be tested? By the time the network of testing stations wasn't as big as it is nowadays, for example, public testings is for free in Berlin or in Germany in January. By the time it had just started, and we at the Estrel, we also organized a test center on site. And by the time we've learned that most of the people were still a little bit concerned, so they decided to go on site directly to the venue, then being tested, and then directly enter to the room. Whereas I think nowadays it's just much more part of the public life and the normal personal life. If you would like to go somewhere, you go to the testing center at the corner of your street, get the ticket, and then also go to either cinema or restaurant or meeting place. And nowadays also we have this bear code, which is a kind of a reference, IT reference, which shows a testing or a test from or result from a testing center transferred into a QR code, which is very, very difficult to copy. And so it's much more secure nowadays. And this is, of course, something happened, or this system hasn't been in existence 3 months ago. Finally, no one was tested positive. And also afterwards, we haven't heard of any cases. So we're quite happy, and it was a good result. And then summer has come. We are now in June, end of June, but still numbers are not or haven't got back to normal. At the moment in Berlin, 250 people are allowed indoors, 1,000 outdoors. And to have the perspective for autumn, to have bigger events and so on, we would like to, or we wanted to show that even 2 or 3 day programs with 300, 400, 500 people are possible and under secure possibilities or conditions. Therefore, we also thought, let's have another round of pilot events. And this is why we initiated 3 events with up to 500 people. Again, something which was an extra allowance. And 2 of those 3 pilot events took place last week, a medical congress, the Capital City Congress with 500 people at the City Q Berlin or at the Messe. The Green Tech Festival, which is really like a business festival, even with award ceremony, also 500 packs. And the Day of German Industry, a meeting, gathering of politicians with industry leaders from Germany and abroad, national politicians and international ones. Even the Chancellor from Austria will join tomorrow. This is going to happen tomorrow. And so we think, because last week's 2 events worked really, really well, will be another proof of having events safe even for people up to for events for up to 500 people and larger. And I think also with the falling of the incidences of the cases of corona infections, COVID infections, this will help us also to get allowances for even bigger events, and this is what we need. And this is also the framework which the industry needs and has to get back from the government. So what we've learned in a way is it's very important to think about everything and be precise and think about all possibilities, something which is not new to event planners. But again, which proves to be important when you can say to your clients, to your attendees, we've thought about everything possible as far as possible, of course. This is something I think will bring trust and gain trust. And something which I've mentioned before is that people would like to meet. The personal meeting is something which is in the in the human nature and a basic need. And this is also very big need or something which people would like to. And of course, the more we learn, I've talked about this code, which hadn't been in existence 3 months ago. We get more and more accustomed to all those things, and more people get vaccinated or have recovered, or testing is a normal day-to-day thing. And I think these three proofs of not being infectious when entering an event, which also will also help to make it much more routine and to allow big events, even with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people in the end of this year and beginning of next year, when Corona might still be an issue, of course. But this is what we have to work on, and to work less. Contactless events. This was one of the questions. I think it all depends on the hygiene regulations at the moment. Catering is, of course, a really big issue. How you can cater, how you can present catering, drinks, food, and if it's on the table, or if you can take it yourself. Something which get adapted, I think, in the course of a time as well. And I think we've learned quite a lot about techniques, like we do now, these meetings here online, things with like Slido, which I explained afterwards, already before, that we don't really have these microphones in the room where you can pose your questions, but rather write it down and then give the facilitator the opportunity to choose the right answers, the right questions, and put them together and so on, and to minimize the differences between attendees online and at on site. This is also an interesting aspect, I think. And last but not least, the professional behavior of participants of our professional industry. And this helps also quite a lot, I think, to make events safe, that it's maybe much less a problem like in meetings in a leisure surroundings, to have or to know that people attending a B2B event are really very much aware that you have to behave according to the rules. And this also helps to gain trust and to attract other people to attend as well, because they think, yes, I go there, they're all professional, I will be safe there. And this maybe is another thing to get back trust, that we have this legal framework, maybe even an insurance, that again, COVID-based cancellations in autumn. There are discussions in Germany and also in other countries to establish something like this. But last but not least, it is really about the experience and the reports you hear from people attending events or having attended events. They say, oh, can you imagine, last week I was at an event and it was great and I felt so safe, and they did this and this and this and this, and I will go there again. And then other people's listening to these stories might think, like you, okay, why shouldn't we do it as well? And go there, attend the event, organize the event, because it is a basic need of people, and nothing compares to personal meetings. People want to meet, and I hope that we will see many, many live meetings again in the future.
Thank you very much. I was wondering, though, of all the measures that you have mentioned, which one do you think is likely to last longer, forever, if any?
Yeah, if any. I think it's maybe not one. It's maybe, I think it is that you have an even stricter entrance codex in a way, or restrictions. It has been personalized anyway before. but now you need a test, or you need a certificate that you got the vaccine, or you have to show that you've already had COVID and you've come over it. I think one of those three, or a proof of one of those three certifications that you're safe and not infectious, I think this is something which will last over the next months, I think. Anyway, it's not only testing, it's one of those three opportunities to show that you're not infectious, I think. What do you think?
I agree. It's just that would probably keep people reassured more. And coming also representing the US and Canadian market, people are very eager to come to Germany again. So I think that would be something that would reassure them long term. And I was just curious about, venues and how we would be able to maintain this reassurance throughout the industry forever.
I think the more we learn about this illness, about the infection ways, about the more details I think we know about this, the easier is it, of course, to avoid being infected or harm anybody. And
Right.
and this will also guide us the way how we prepare catering or buffets, or entering procedures, or the distances, social distancing, is it still necessary if you go into a room where you have been either vaccinated people or people who have gone over it or tested. No, I think we're going to learn, hopefully.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would like all attendees to know about Berlin, besides everything that you've said already? Any messages of welcome back, and a message to the world about Berlin being open, being ready? Anything more than what you've already covered?
Well, Berlin is open and Berlin is prepared, and it's not all about COVID and COVID safety things. That Germany is known for it's very much structured and can handle things and procedures like this quite well. But Berlin is also known for a really open city, open-minded city, liberal city, and a city which a lot of people would like to meet because of this specific atmosphere which you have there, this cosmopolitan atmosphere, the history. And I think the combination between both is fantastic. We are here. We think a lot about how to welcome you best, and we really, really much look forward to seeing you and your clients here in our city again.
Thank you. And I promise one last question. I was curious, we've all talked about the challenges, how we've overcome challenges or things we're still trying to learn and understand and implement. What is a positive message we can leave our people with? Something good that may have happened, that we may have learned, something positive about our industry, about our world.
Our industry is very much caring, and it's very much about people. And what I've said several times, it's really to the core of my heart. Everybody would like to meet in person. This is the core, what people is all about. Personal meetings is the core of our industry, and you can't replace it by digital meetings to an extent. To a certain extent, yes, but the basic, or the human being would like to meet in person for networking opportunities, for meetings which are not planned at a buffet, for example. And these are often the most important and the most valuable meeting or contacts afterwards. And I think people, and this is what we've experienced, would like to have this again.
Yes, and it has been demonstrated over and over again throughout all our sessions and even the live events that we've had so far in the world, that this is definitely here to stay, our industry. It's a people's industry. And we always get that reconfirmation that this is the fact. Thank you so much for sharing the lessons learned with us and the stories of the events that have taken place. As borders open, I know Germany is opening up to non-European visitors. Americans are very excited about it. So we definitely can't wait to travel again, to come back to Germany. I for sure miss it. It's been for a year. And this is our session for today, everybody. Thank you so much. Before I go, again, you're here in the venue. If you want to check out the exhibition space, and who the exhibitors are. You can schedule an appointment throughout the week, throughout next week, throughout the summer, really. 70 exhibitors are there. Join us back for our sessions. We have more coming up tomorrow and Wednesday, and the next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We will be talking about digitalization versus sustainability and how they come together. We are talking about the new rules of marketing. We'll be talking about how we create new association programs. And so we have more speakers coming up. Thank you very much, Marco. Visit Berlin. Thank you for joining us. This session has been recorded and is going to be added to our library in the venue. And we will also be sharing links with you so you can share with the networks and with everyone who may be interested in learning more. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely day and evening, and hope to see you back tomorrow and next week as well. Bye.
Thank you, Lumi. Bye.